The episode kicks off with Atla calling out the nobles. One noble sneers, "The white tiger blood is tainted with human lineage." Duralis barks, "You have no right to speak." Meanwhile, the king, recalls what Atla said to him. After that, he learns that the White Tiger siblings, descendants of a disgraced war general, have gone to Siltveld with Naofumi. He questions the queen, "You really sent those two to Siltveld, that place?" However, she assures him that Naofumi is with them. The king then recalls how Siltveld lost to Melremark, and how the White Tiger demi-humans were forced to bear full responsibility for the loss. Meanwhile, Atlas had enough. She steps up and absolutely roasts the council. "You claim to honor the shield hero, yet you ignore his request and disrespect him?" She calls out their hypocrisy, their lack of faith, and their failure to remember how Siltveld was founded by the shield hero for demi-humans. Atla's speech is fire. She reminds them that Naofumi rebuilt the village of Luralona, gave homes and hope to demi-humans, and that she, even as a slave, was accepted and loved. She also reminds them that just like Luralona, it was the shield hero who founded Siltveld for demi-humans to live. We owe everything to the shield hero. Of course, not everyone's convinced, since Luralona is much smaller compared to Siltveld. However, she reminds them that Siltveld was also a small village once. Well, to put it simply, she is comparing Luralona to Siltveld as a whole. She declares that she is expressing her gratitude and love to Naofumi as a godly figure for saving her and giving demi-humans like her a place to belong, just like the shield hero once did for Siltveld. As Atlas starts convincing them, some begin to believe that Naofumi must be the hero of the time to come. As the nobles turn against Duralis, the scene shifts to the poison scandal. As we know, Naofumi's breakfast was laced with poison. Then Philo and Sedina walk in with the suspect, a royal chef named Tenny. Initially hesitant, he confesses he was forced to do it under orders from Duralis. Well, we all knew who did this. Duralis tries to gaslight the whole situation. "I didn't give any orders." The moment Naofumi hears that, he's like, "That's it, I'm out. I won't stay in a country that poisons me." I mean, can you blame him? By the way, the chef's family was threatened, and he was just a pawn. Even Philo confirms he's not lying. Just as Naofumi is about to leave, Duralis claims Naofumi isn't the true hero foretold by prophecy. If he were, he'd be summoned to our country, not Melremark. In other words, he is trying to turn the situation against Naofumi to escape the accusation. It's funny how this is the same guy who was willing to do almost anything for Naofumi. You know what they say, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. It is also important to note that the White Tiger lost to Melremark due to Duralis leaking their war strategy to Melremark, and he went to hide in a safe location. So yeah, this guy is a piece of art and certified scumbag, though he cannot defeat our Hall of Shame yet. Meanwhile, Naofumi realizes that Duralis' backup plan was to make Siltveld question Naofumi's legitimacy as a hero, but Atlas not having that either. She claps back with logic. Naofumi was summoned alongside the other three heroes to share power and face the waves together. That's the whole point. And if Duralis doubts him, maybe he's the one who's lost faith. So just when things couldn't get more tense, a legendary figure named Okina shows up. And by the way, this guy isn't just some retired elder. He's a former Genmu warrior with massive influence across Siltveld. He bows to Naofumi, says it's an honor to meet him, and introduces himself like, "Call me Okina." Okina's heard everything, and he's not impressed with the nobles. He says Atlas' speech was spot on and calls out the council for being selfish and disrespecting the shield hero. Atla, fired up, says if they're going to keep blocking Naofumi's path, she'll remove them, physically. Duralis snaps, "I'll crush you myself," and Atla's like, "Bring it." But before they can throw hands, Okina steps in and says, "Enough. This is going nowhere. Let's settle it the Siltveld way, with a duel." Thus, a duel challenge is issued out of nowhere. Naofumi stunned, but Okina insists it's the only way to resolve the question of whether Naofumi is truly the prophesized hero. Atla volunteers to fight as Naofumi's representative, and Duralis accepts. He even names the champion for his side as his teammate. The terms? If Duralis wins, the White Tiger clan gets exiled, the Lion clan rises to power, Naofumi becomes a state asset, and Atla gets punished. If Atla wins, Siltveld follows Naofumi's orders, no questions asked. Duralis agrees, duel accepted, stakes locked. Then Full steps in, Atla's brother, and says, "Let me fight instead."
Atla refuses, saying this duel is too important to risk, but Full insists, I need to ask him something. This fight matters to me and to our father. Atla is torn, but eventually agrees. Duralis, if ever the arrogant lion, says, fine, I'll fight both of you. Let's see if your filthy blood can stand against my noble power. Okina reminds him that duels must be fair, so Duralis brings in a second fighter, a Minotaur-like war hero from the old days. Yeah, this guy's a walking tank. Atla and Full don't flinch. Atla says, even if my brother falls, I'll finish the fight myself. Full replies, I'll prove our strength by stepping over their expectations. Now Fumi gives them the go-ahead. I'm counting on you. Atla responds, leave it to me. Then the duel begins. The crowd watches as the White Tiger siblings face off against Duralis and his beastly ally, who is a champion. And just before the clash, we get a glimpse of Duralis' twisted plan. He wants Naofumi to marry the champion's daughter. Needless to say, Naofumi starts freaking out.